I've said this many times. The number one responsibility of government is to protect people and property. There was a hearing today at the House where a father of a 22-year-old woman who was brutally killed by a career criminal lashed out against soft on crime policy. Number 35.
How many of y'all have kids? I'm just curious. Do. When I tell you this story, think about your kids. Think about your out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them, and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? It was Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 damn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. He's only 30 years old. He was committing 2.65 crimes a year since he was 15 years old, but nobody could figure out that he couldn't be rehabilitated. Well, you'd have to put him in prison to see if he could be rehabilitated. Isn't that the idea of prison? But no, my daughter wanted to be a teacher. She finally figured it out 2 weeks before she was executed. And I haven't heard a damn from Byron Gibson in South Carolina. Not one word. 4 months, no communication. His biggest concern was that he was off about my interview and how I made him look on the Fox News channel with Trey Gowdy. How pathetic is that? That we're letting our 22-year-old kid visiting friends. It's all she ever wanted to do was visit friends. And she literally was executed while on her knees, begging for her life. Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina. And you will not forget her. I promise you. You will be tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter. You need the rest of our children, the rest of the innocents, and stop protecting the people that keep taking them from us. Please. You have the power. We put you in the power to do what you have to do. We're asking you, we're begging you all to stop this. 39 crimes in 10 years. 25 felonies. Can you explain to me, well, how possibly he could be on the street? Is it possible? I could sit down in a room and I could explain the whole process of how it failed, how South Carolina failed, Logan, okay? How lack of communication. What y'all did, you woke up a beast and you pissed off the wrong daddy. Because I'm going to put it out there. And I'm not going to be quiet until somebody helps. Logan deserves to be heard. Everyone on this panel deserves to be heard. And we will. Trust me. My daughter laid on the floor for 7 hours before somebody in that house recognized that something was wrong. And that career criminal, an hour later, went on a spending spree with her debit card. When they saw his face on a video, they didn't have to do a check. Arrested so many times, they knew who he was. They knew exactly where to go get him. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic that I'm here today. Thank you for your time.
You know, there are differences, obviously, between the two parties. Differences regarding the economy. Democrats believe that rich people don't pay enough in taxes. Republicans believe people are overtaxed, and they are. There are big differences in education. Democrats do not want to give parents, particularly those living in the inner city, choice to get their kid out of an underperforming government school into a better situation. Republicans want to give them choice. Democrats were quiet for 4 years when the borders were wide open and we were flooded with a minimum of 10, maybe 12, maybe 15 million illegal aliens. Republicans want secure borders and believe there's a distinction between legal immigration and illegal immigration. But there's also a fundamental difference in how they approach crime. A lot of Democrats believe that criminals are just victims of society. If only, as George Wallace once said, to quote a Democrat, my daddy had taken me to Disneyland, I'd have turned out differently. Republicans have a very few. Bad guys need to be caught, need to be convicted if guilty, and need to be incarcerated for a period of time consistent with the gravity of the crime they commit. Democrats support policies like cashless bail, support policies that reduce offenses of crime from violent to nonviolent, therefore meaning bad guys either don't go to jail at all or don't stay there nearly as long as they should. And then you have someone like Jasmine Crockett. Listen to this.
Understanding what ends up having people be impacted really informs so much of what I do legislatively, right? So when people are like, oh, you know, terrible, and yes, it is, right? Like, because when somebody goes out and commits a crime, they don't typically, you know, say, well, I'm a D or I'm an R or I'm an I. It's not like literally like, it's about, well, how do you fix it? How do you make community safer? And I do think that I'm in a unique situation because I was having the conversations with people that were going out and committing crimes. And so I understand kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mind. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
I have no idea what she just now said.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.